So good luck to all of you. The very first name on the list, Miss Missouri. And to join Miss Missouri among the semifinalists, Miss California. Number 3, Miss Kentucky. From your response during the Parade of States, I think you'll like this one, Miss Pennsylvania. And ladies and gentlemen, here comes Miss District of Columbia. Number 6, to complete our first group of semifinalists, Miss Arizona. Congratulations, girls. Now we're going to meet each of these 6 girls. Miss California here is Karen Dawn Morrell, and you're from Auburn.
That's
and
right.
You're a student where, Karen?
I'm a student at Sierra Junior College, and I'm finishing up my sophomore year.
Aha. And you're a beautiful girl, but I understand you have an identical twin brother.
Well, yes, I have a twin brother. He's not identical. He's a fraternal twin. But he's very good looking.
Well, I'm sure he is if he's from your family.
Thank
now,
you.
when the girls came here to Miami Beach for the pageant, they were asked to name the outstanding man in the world, in their opinion. And on this card here, you have named as the most outstanding man Albert Albertazzi. Now, I assume he's a utility infielder for some ball team. Or who is Albert Albertazzi?
No, you're wrong. He's a very wonderful man. Albert Albertazzi was the man who brought literature alive for me in my high school days, and I'm pursuing my career in trying to reach for my master's degree in English literature because of this man.
So Albert Albertazzi is one of your teachers?
Yes, he's one of my high school teachers.
I see.
Yes.
Well, congratulations, Albert Albertazzi, wherever you are. Thank you, Miss California. Now, Miss Pennsylvania here is Michelle McDonald. She's from Butler. And what do you do in Butler?
Well, I do a sort of things, like in the summertime, like we belong to swimming pool and we go swimming, and in the winter we go tobogganing or sled riding or ice skating.
Mm-hmm. And you go to school?
Yes, I'm still a senior.
Fine. Now, you're very happy, aren't you?
Yes.
To be one of the semifinalists.
Yes, really
But when
excited.
I met you in the lobby of the hotel last night, you were not so happy. Why don't you tell everyone what you missed being here in Miami Beach?
Well, last night I missed my senior prom.
And you had a date for it?
Yes.
And did your date go and take another girl?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Have you talked with him?
Yes, we talked last night.
And he promised he wouldn't. And where is he tonight?
I think he's at my house watching television.
Watching this show,
Yes.
perhaps, huh?
Maybe.
Do you think a boy who stayed home from his own senior prom deserves a kiss?
Yes, I suppose.
Would you like to blow him a kiss? I'll tell you, wait just a minute. I have an idea. She did that so well. Don't you think she should blow a kiss to Albert Albertazzi, too? Go ahead. There you are. Thank you, Miss Pennsylvania. Now, Miss Arizona is Suzanne Pottinger. You're from Tempe.
Right.
And you're a student?
At Arizona State University.
Uh-huh. And your father is an Episcopal minister.
Right.
Now, tell me, Suzanne, does that create any problems being a minister's daughter?
Well, it does for some families, but my family's been very good about it. It's no problem for us.
How have you handled it any differently?
Well, my mother keeps us away from...
Church.
No, not from church. She doesn't hasn't raised us with the idea that we have to be perfect little people. She raised us with the idea that we're people just like everybody else.
She had a part of this beautiful costume, didn't she?
Oh, my whole family put it together.
Did they?
We got a piece of copper about 30 inches by 30 inches from the Arizona Copper Mining Association.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom and my little sister, who's in art, designed it and cut it out, and my whole family spent a week polishing it. My little brother took this to school and polished it, and my belt my sister made. She made the ring, too.
How'd you get all this cooperation?
My family's just like that. Oh, my mom said, really, I'm making an investment. When you're rich and famous, you can take us all to the Bahamas.
Well, if you become Miss USA, you might be able to do that. Thank you very much, Miss Arizona. There you go. Now, Miss District of Columbia is Suzanne Plaskowski.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Suzanne, what do you do?
I go to school in Washington, Dunbarton College,
What are you studying?
elementary education and history.
And I understand that your hobbies are piano and table tennis.
Well, I try both.
Are you a good table tennis player?
Not according to George.
To George Lindsay?
That's right. He says, I'll never make it to China.
Well, you may not as a ping pong player, but if they have a beauty pageant in China, you just might make it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss District of Columbia. Now, Miss Kentucky here is Patricia Barnstable. She's from Louisville. And you, too, have an identical twin, I know,
Yes, I do.
because she's here at the pageant with you, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
And she looks exactly like this girl. She does indeed. Did you both enter the Kentucky pageant?
No, we didn't. We never compete against each other. We make it sort of a joint effort, but one's on the sideline and one's in the contest.
How did you decide which one to join the contest?
Well, it was really up in the air for a while. We weren't sure at all. And it was just who was going to be in the mood at the night.
And you were in the mood.
A little bit more than she was, yes.
Being completely identical twins like this, is this confusing with your boyfriends, Patricia?
After a while, they can get to tell us apart real well. They work at it because it sort of hurts the male ego not to know exactly who they're dating.
Have you ever played a little joke on them? And
A couple times we played jokes. Well, not too often, though, because if you want to go out with the guy, you certainly don't want to make a fool of him.
I think that's very good advice indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Miss Kentucky. Now, down here is Miss Missouri, whose name is...
Nancy Rich.
And Nancy Rich, this is our opportunity to tell everybody in the country where you're from.
Springfield, Missouri, the Queen City of the Ozarks.
That's right. It just happens to be a city in which I have spent some happy years myself. Now, where do you go to school?
I go to school at the University of Missouri,
And what do you study?
elementary education.
And have you done some practice teaching?
Yes, I just finished my practice teaching. When I first started it, I wasn't too sure how good of a teacher I was going to be. I lacked a little self-confidence, but one day I'd been working over and over and over with the little girl, and all of a sudden she grabbed me and her face lit up and she said, I understand, I've got it.
I've got
And that
it.
made all the difference in the world.
What were you teaching her?
I was teaching her how to count by 5s and 10s, which seems simple for us.
I was
but
going to say, you should have been my first grade teacher. I've never understood the pens.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Missouri.
Thank you.
Order. Good luck, girls. Here we go. 6 more girls who have a chance to become Miss USA. Number 7 is Miss Michigan. Number 8 on our list of semifinalists, Miss Vermont. And semifinalists, here comes Miss Maryland. Number 10, Miss Texas. And now, 2 more girls have a chance to become Miss USA. One of them, Miss Virginia. And now, for one of Miami Beach's all-time reactions, Miss Florida. Congratulations, girls. Yes, yes, they were happy about that. Now, Miss Vermont here is Sandra Taft. She's from West Dover, and you want to be a fashion coordinator.
Yes, I'd like to do that in the future.
Uh-huh. Sandra, we're going through a period of confusion, apparently, with the length of skirts. Do you think skirts are going to be long or short in the future?
Well, I think the length of skirts is going to vary greatly, but the mini skirt is here to stay because men like legs.
Yes. That applause was started by a gentleman on the third row down here. Do you think most ladies dress for men?
No, I couldn't really say because there are some women who dress for fashion, and then there are the others that dress for men. But I don't believe fashion is really fashion unless it looks good on you.
Yes, I think that's a very astute observation. Thank you, Miss Vermont. Now I have Miss Texas here, and her name is Brenda Box, and she's a student at the University of Texas. And Brenda, what do you want to do?
I'd like to go into the theater, musical comedy, preferably.
Oh, you told me that you'd like nothing better than to be in No No Nanette.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that a little before your time, Brenda?
Yes, sir. It was staged back in the 20s during the flapper times and all that.
Yeah. But college students are becoming very interested in things nostalgic.
Yes, the return to nostalgia has been prominent in the past few weeks. The old kazoo and even the raccoon coats. I have a friend that would like to have a raccoon coat.
Do you think I could come to the University of Texas and sell my collection of Blue Baron records?
Blue Baron. I don't know.
How about my autographed picture of Ken Maynard?
Oh, definitely.
You
Definitely.
like that? Well, good luck to you, Miss Texas.
Thank you very much.
Now, Miss Florida is Susan Deaton. I imagine that reaction made you very happy.
Yes, it did.
But you had quite a reaction from one little group on Wednesday night when we did our show, didn't you?
Yes.
You, in fact, have had a cheering section ever since you got down here. How many boys have you made friends with?
About 3.
Uh-huh. And you were telling me that one of them used a most unique approach.
Well, a lot of guys come out with a lot of lines, and one of them told me the other night that he was the son of a judge.
Now, that is a new approach, is it not? To come to a USA contestant and tell you that he's the son of one of our judges. And, Suzanne, you did not for a moment fall for that.
Oh, just for a little while until I asked him his last name, and he told me, and it didn't rhyme with any of the others, so...
So the heck with him.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Miss Florida. Now, Miss Virginia here is Brenda Miller from Norfolk, and you're about to enter college.
Right. I'll be going back for my junior year at Old Dominion University, majoring in psychology.
Is there any problem psychologically for a beautiful woman?
Well, there have been, in case histories I've studied, like Cleopatra and different women, it seems like they come to violent deaths. But as far as myself personally, I grew up sort of like a tomboy and never thought of being a beautiful woman until my first pageant, and I was in the junior Miss pageant, and I put on my makeup and my first eyelashes, all that, and I looked in the mirror and I said, wow, is that me? And that's the first time I thought about it.
How old are you now?
I'll be 21 in a week.
Well, I must say that in your old age, you've become a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Virginia. Now, Miss Maryland here is Carol Thies. Where are you from?
Silver Springs, right outside of the district.
And you told me during one of the rehearsals that you're a people watcher.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It
Just
really
what
is.
does a people watcher do?
Look at people.
That's the kind of a conversation I'd hope to get started here. What have you discovered about people? What have you learned about people watching them?
Well, I think everyone knows that people are fascinating, and they're very interesting to watch, from the very small ones to the very old ones. And everyone is beautiful in their own way, maybe not physically, but mentally, or even their fingernails or the way they move their hands. Everyone is a beautiful person.
Well, I think that's very nice. Now, as a people watcher, I suggest you just walk right out there, and I'll bet everybody in the place will be watching you this time.
Thank you.
There you go, Miss Maryland. Now, down here, we have Miss Michigan, who is Pat Glannon. And where are you from?
Detroit.
And you want to be an actress.
I think I would like to be. I'm not sure that I could do it, but I've seen an awful lot of things on television, and I said to myself, well, if they can do it, I can do it, and I'd sure like to be given the opportunity to try.
Have you ever seen yourself on television?
Yeah, and I wasn't very impressed.
You weren't?
No.
Well, I'm sure that all of us are very impressed with you. Thank you, Miss
Thank you.
Michigan. And there they are.